Hey guys, Dr. Art back up here in the office, and that means one thing. We're doing some tuning, and we're doing another JTEC computer today. Today's computer comes from a guy named Roger. Roger's got a 1998 Ram 1500 with a 5.9 Magnum. Now, he refreshed the motor, transmission, and stuff like that at 400,000 miles. He had 400,000 miles on the stock engine. He said he could have got another 100,000 out of it, no problem. So he obviously takes care of it, but in his words, even with the freshened up engine and trans and stuff like that, he just said it doesn't have nuts. So we're going to do a nuts and spicy tune on his Ram here, and like I said, 5.9 Magnum, fresh rebuild. It's going to run like a mid-grade gas, so we won't go full bananas, but will make a big difference in the way this truck performs. And said just wants to use it for hauling and stuff like that, so not real concerned about gas mileage. So great. So let's get started. Okay, screen recorder started. Now we have the ECU. It's hooked up to the bench harness. It reads just fine. It's in good shape, so no worries there. Let's go ahead and start where we start with these. Open up our engine tab. Again, you can see here it's a 5.9. And we're going to go right over to our airflow. And the first thing we're going to go to is our map wide open throttle depression. Now, this is basically the top end and lower end of what the map can read and see, to simplify it, right? And the readings here are fine, but there's a couple modifications that we do to this here. We don't change the numbers, but we change the parameter. We go to this little engine speed tab here. We click on that. That opens up this box. And once we have that box open, we go to this 4800 number, and we're going to change that to 6400. Hit enter. And it's going to look like this. Yeah, and this is a little clunky because these boxes that pop up to change our pop-ups, the screen recorders, and capture them, so we have to do a kind of like a still photo and just paste it into the video, no big deal. So here's the new value, 6400, and you can see how it changes the graph. And then once we have the graph, we select from 1200 all the way up to 6400. Hit the interpolate button, and that smooths this map reading out, so it's nice and smooth, so the engine is nice and happy. Here's what the looks like after you smooth it out. All right, so here's the new readings, right? Our table is extended up to 6,400 RPM, so the computer knows that it's okay to fuel and give spark to this engine up to about 6,500 RPM. Not that this engine's going to rev that high, but it's a lot better than this engine going dumb at about 4,900 RPM. It makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. Okay. All right. And once we're done with the airflow, in this exhaust, there's nothing to do here on the JTEC. We're going to go to our fuel tab, and we're going to check some of these readings. Now, this is injector pulse width and all this kind of stuff, and offset. This is all V8. This is all what it should be, so we're not going to touch any of that. O2 sensors, like I said, it's stock exhaust, so he's got all his O2 sensors. We don't need to mess with any of that. Open loop, it's base fuel and everything. Again, stock engine, we don't have to change any of that. Where we have our benefits on the JTEC is on the power enrichment scale. All right. And we would go under power enrichment, we go to RPM. And kind of the same procedure that we did with the map setting, but click on this engine speed right here. That opens up another box. Again, you take your 4800, you change that last box to 6400, you hit enter, right? And then you take all the way from 1184 to 6400, hit that interpolate button. Now that we have the fuel tables changed to 6,400 RPM, we need to put some enrichment into this. Now, our fuel enrichment for wide open throttle is going to start at about 1,600 RPM. So we select from 1,600 all the way up to 6,400. We go up to our box here. We type in 1.08. No, 8. And hit the times button. Now this is going to add 8% more fuel to any time you're under a load or at wide open throttle. So again, when we put in more timing, it's going to have more timing, more fuel. It's going to make a lot more power. Easy, right? Fuel and spark. It's got all the air it needs. It makes more power. Easy, easy. All right, and then you would notice here, let me go back into it, that these last measurements, they go higher, and then at the end they taper off. I don't really like that, so what we do is we take the last highest number, and we copy that, and we paste that into that final box. All right, and then it looks like that, and that's beautiful. Okay, easy enough. Deceleration fuel cutoff, we've raised the RPM quite a bit, so our cutoff was at 5,300 RPM. For our decel fuel, has nothing to do with fuel cutoff, but we're going to raise this again. We're going to raise this to 6,400 just to make the computer happy, so it knows where it's at and what it's doing and all that kind of stuff, right? All right, so next we go to our spark tables. That's where a lot of the magic happens. All right, the one table we're going to work with is our main spark, EGR off, and everything else will be based off of this because, again, these engines don't have an EGR valve, so an on-off doesn't make any sense. All right, and then this area here, all right, these bottom 3 rows, this is load, towing, wide open throttle, all that kind of stuff. This is where your max timing is. These upper areas, these top 3 rows, all right, here, this is all deceleration values. So this is not cruising, this is not idling, this is all on deceleration. Now, I don't mind, this 36 in the decel, but I really, really dislike this 40, and this is just personal preference for tuning for me. So what I'd like to do is I like to back that actually down. Okay, and then this last row of deceleration, where we're in the 40s, I like to back that down also. And again, that's just personal preference. All right, so it's okay. We want to work on our full throttle and load timing tables to give this vehicle some more grunt to it. We're going to start by copying this 79.1 right up to about here, and we're going to paste that in these bottom 2 layers. We're going to modify this a little bit also, but that's a good starting point. And like I said, he's going to be running regular to mid-grade gas, so we're going to max his timing out, and we can extend that 31 degrees probably till about all the way to starting here at 2800. All right, so we make 31 degrees full timing from 2800 RPM up, and we have a pretty good blend up until that. So this is what our spark table looks like. This is what we're talking about right here. Okay, all this in here. Now you can see there's a little dip right here at about 2500 RPM. We want to smooth that dip out. Okay. And we go back to our table to about 2,500 RPM, and we look where we're not smooth. And again, you can see that this number here, 2417, that has changed to 29. So we want to make all three of these 29. Make all these three 29 and go back to our flow table and see how we have a nice, clean, good, smooth timing arc. And this is all good right here. All right. That little dip, you can see that's right here, like this 26 area. This engine's never going to see this. But again, if we get rid of that dip, all we have to do is highlight here, hit that interpolate button, go back, and you can see it takes that little timing dip out of it. And again, that engine's never going to see that, but it looks a little bit neater. So take it for what it is. All right. So now that we have our timing tables where I like them, okay, we can go ahead, we highlight this whole section, we copy it. All right, we go to this EGR on table, hit paste, paste in our new values, close that table, warm spark, same thing. Paste in our new values. You want to check your wide open throttle modifier because you don't want to have all this timing and then some other table modifiers kicking in 4 or 5 degrees of timing where you don't want it to cause detonation. This from the factory is all zeros. It's kind of why it was lazy. But again, everything looks good. So when you're done doing all your timing tables, all right, you go back to your first table, all right, click on this engine speed. Again, that's going to bring up that graph that we're going to change that last number to 6400 to. Enter it, and then we're going to start smoothing this table out from 1197 all the way to 6400. Hit the interpolate button. Close out our screen, and you can see we have our new timing tables, all nice and pretty. You can see them. Oh, they're all in one color. These are at least all in one color. All nice and pretty. Looking good. Our spark tables look nice and smooth. Everything's happy here. Happy, happy, happy. This truck should run great. And again, everything is turned up to 6,400 RPM. Air intake temperature. This is okay. I don't like them adding so much timing here when it's cold with this new timing table, so we change these all to 2. Mark that good. Coolant temp. Again, there's no need to add this much timing with this new timing table. When it's cold, we can make that a. We can also make that a 2. And he is out in a warmer climate, so if we do get coolant temperatures above 230 and 212, I like it pulling timing, so I'm happy with all that. We're going to leave all that here, in fact. And we're going to clean that up there, too. 2 and equals. Okay. We're good. That minimum spark, basic spark mode, this is all good news. All right. We can close this table out. We can go to our speedo, 188, and if we can get this Dodge up to 188 miles an hour, great. But it'll no longer have that fuel cutoff at 122. Not that anyone should ever drive their car over the speed limit, but just in case. You never know what happens. The zombie apocalypse comes and all bets are off. Now, he did change the thermostat to 160. On this vehicle, it has mechanical fans, so none of this takes place. AC reset time 0, your diag table, nothing to do here. Trans on a JTEC, you really can't do anything with. On a JTEC Plus, on your 99 Plus, there's a couple settings, but on these 98s, it's basically you pick what type of trans it is. And if it's a stick, you turn on your shift indicator light and set these values. And that's it. Again, we don't have a manual, so none of this applies. And torque management is disabled. Just leave it disabled. It's happy that way. So these are our basic changes. There's one or two more things I'm going to do for them off camera. But Dodge Magnum 5.9 spicy tune with nuts for our buddy Roger. He's all set to go. Let me go ahead and I'll buy the credits and write this and stuff off camera. But questions, comments, concerns on this one, guys? Let me know. You need this one done. Zumba. There's my email. Get a hold of me. And we can do this for you too. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the merch. It's coming up in a few seconds here. And thanks again. See ya.